All right, shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the live. Big Q representing the Sports Coma. Shout out to FanDuel, the official sponsor of the show. Get your prop bets in at FanDuel. Also, bets on the draft, all that's coming up, man. Check out FanDuel. They got you covered. In this episode, man, we're talking about Adam Schefter, man, revealing some trade information about a particular player on the New Orleans Saints, man. And it coincides with some information to explain what the Saints could have been working on, man, and the reason why they signed a certain former highly drafted quarterback, to say the least, right? So, and we've heard this said before with the players, and ultimately Tyler Shuck is coming in here, and he's kind of terraforming this thing, man, and we're talking about exclusively trade information circulating around one Spencer Rattler, man. And like I said, that would definitely explain the Zach Wilson signing and how he, the former second overall pick back in 2021, is here as the guy that's supposed to battle Spencer Rattler in this upcoming training camp if he makes it there. But Adam Schefter is just breaking his scoop. So shout out to A to Z Sports for doing this. Adam Holt on the scoop. He reveals, and this is inspired by Adam Schefter's tweet, that the Saints are currently, they hold the 8th overall pick during the 3-day process, and they could actually trade away a quarterback to improve their overall capital for this year or next. Right now, we'll tell you what we got here. So anyway, one insider think there may be interest from other teams regarding a young Saints quarterback. And an intel piece from NFL's insider Adam Schefter, he named Saints quarterback Spencer Rattler as a player who could be dealt this week's draft. A team may be interested in Rattler after seeing how he showed some glimpses of impressive play last year over the couple of years. But also, he also had said this as well, quote, those who could gain interest include Colts quarterback and Anthony Richardson Sr., Titans quarterback Will Levis, Saints quarterback Spencer Rattler, Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts Sr., Colts cornerback Kenny Moore II, Giants edge rusher Kayvon Thibodeau, Bills wide receiver Keon Coleman, and wide receiver from the 49ers Brandon Ayuk, among others. And you can see Jeff Duncan had said this too. Interesting to see Spencer Rattler's name as reported trade candidate this week. Makes sense in the wake of Zach Wilson's acquisition. Rattler completed 68% of his passes in 2025. His passer rating also increased from 70.4 to 86.5 between 24 and 25. And then, according to the writer, he lacked some aggressiveness, though at times passed up opportunities. I agree with that. Pushed the ball down the field, became really conservative, and I think that a lot of people wanted him to just cut it loose. Once the Saints saw that the postseason run was probably out of reach, they turned to Tyler Shuck, and the rest was history. Now, the case for trading Spencer Rattler is as follows, according to the writer. The Saints did sign QB Zach Wilson, former first-round pick, early this offseason. While that doesn't push Rattler out the door, it does allow the Saints to move him if they feel an offer is worth it to move on. Not to mention, it was no secret that Rattler was naturally a bit bummed to lose the start. He gave it to him early on, and then he ultimately lost it in the second half to Tyler Shuck because of the play. They needed a spark. So, but you got to give it to Rattler. He is a competitor. He wants to prove himself if he's given up another opportunity. So the Saints might decide that it would be smarter for him to be elsewhere than in their QB room. If they did deal Rattler, signing another veteran option to compete for the job, well, Wilson seems like a intelligent choice. As far as the compensation goes, a late day 3 pick going to the Saints will be the hope in exchange for Rattler. He also could be included in some value in a trade-up scenario for Kellen Moore's team. So shout out to A to Z Sports on that. Also, the Saints Wire with John Sigler also spoke about the situation, mentioning that ESPN's Adam Schefter said it could gain interest in the draft. But the reality is, this is what Adam Schefter is hearing, and we don't exactly know how this is all going to play out, because there are a lot of quarterbacks there that he did mention. I'm talking about guys like Anthony Richardson, Will Levis. There are a couple of guys that's up there, which could be moving around. We know that there is going to be some movement of quarterbacks because there's still teams that need help at the position. So understanding Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, Spencer Rattler could be in a mix in a not too exciting draft this year. It does speak well of it. So you kind of shift to the draft and you see Las Vegas, they're going to obviously take Mendoza. Ty Simpson could actually probably go a little higher because of this. We'll see. But there are other stuff going on with other teams, like Jacoby Brissett is refusing to come to camp or refusing to show up because he wants an extension on his contract. And that is an issue that's problematic because they were basically relying on Jacoby Brissett to lead them this year. And then the following year, they more than likely were going to look at a quarterback. But this changes things for Arizona this year if they need to. So we'll see how it, kind of levels out. Plus the Aaron Rodgers situation. Will Aaron Rodgers come back for Pittsburgh this year? It's always waiting to see what he's going to do. This sort of stuff as well. And of course, this the depth issue. Now, obviously, the Saints will have to weigh. They have, losing in trade because they got Zach Wilson. We don't exactly know how Zach Wilson would play in the system. We know we got Spencer Rattler, but once again, it's just going to be fascinating to see how it all how it all works itself out, to be honest with you. So I don't know if you should be shopping Rattler. I think his contract is there. If something was to go wrong with Tyler Shuck, I don't think I would deal him unless I'm getting something in day 2. I'm not moving him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to take a day 3 pick for Spencer Rattler. I'm just not. I'm not going to take a 3-day pick for him. Like I said, we'll give you a fifth or sixth rounder for him. And they say, hey, we got Zach Wilson. We don't know how Zach Wilson is going to play. We really don't. He's been up and down for most of his career. We've seen improvement with him, as he got a little older, but we don't know how this guy is going to work out. We know we hadn't seen a great deal of his potential. Maybe he needed the right coach, a change of scenery. We don't know how it's all going to work out, but we do know what we have in Spencer Rattler. So I guess it all simply depends on where you would or what you would get in return for Spencer Rattler. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't, myself would not trade Spencer Rattler unless the compensation was that so much so where it kind of made me say that, well, damn. It's like the mob. He gives you an offer you can't refuse, The Godfather. So I don't know. But anyway, look at this. This is what you would be giving up if you look at Zach Wilson's number. He would become the number 1 guy in the QB room. Just not too comfortable with that right now. As you can see, his numbers starting off in 21, he was almost 55.6% in his rookie year, 2,300 plus yards, 9 touchdowns against 11 picks, and he was sacked 44 times. The next year, second year, the sophomore year, and that was in 13 games his first year. The second year, he played 9 games. And 1,600 yards, 6 touchdowns, 7 picks. He was sacked 23 times, and it's kind of reduced what he got going on. But his completion percentage dropped as well. It did in the third year before they traded him. Remember, the Jets had brought Aaron Rodgers in there. Then you had this sort of thing. He went 12 games, 221 out of 368. He had 60%. Threw for his second biggest total in terms of the yards, 2,200, and actually flipped it. He averaged 6 yards per throw, had 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So you've seen some improvement, even with his QB rate from 69.7 to 72.8 to 77.2. You can see his rating was going up. Then they traded him, out there, and I think he was traded to Miami and ended up going there 4th, 6th. Didn't really do too much out there, and really, his career kind of went down. 26 years old, still have a lot to prove, and he got signed on by Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore says, hey, man, I think we can work with Zach Wilson, and perhaps he can. Maybe he'd be able to figure him out. But Spencer Rattler, like I said, is a guy I wouldn't trade him. You can see Spencer Rattler's numbers right there. Despite all of the losses he had as a starter, it was difficult dealing with the kind of team, to be honest with you. But you can see his rating overall, his career numbers, 304 out of 485 for 60, almost 63%, 2,900 yards, 12 touchdowns against 10 interceptions. He was sacked 40 times in the time that he's been in the league, and his rating is 78.9. He also has he scrambles around a bit, 49 scrambles for 313, and he averaged 6.4 yards per scramble there. So he gives some duality there for Spencer Rattler. And like I said, Spencer's entering his third season as a New Orleans Saints player. So Spencer Rattler him and Zach Wilson will battle for the backup spot. But there are a lot of people that have been hearing rumors of Spencer Rattler potentially being traded for a while now. So we'll see where this all heads and goes. But Adam Schefter, man, he's letting you know off the dump, hey, man, guess what? This is what I'm hearing about potential trades and guys that are on the block. So what do you guys think, man? Put it in the comment section. Let me know, are you cool with sending Spencer Rattler for a day 3 pick? If the rumors are correct, they're saying a day 3 pick. That's from 4 to 7. You know, day 1 is 1, 2 is 2 and 3. Day 3 is 4 through 7. So would you trade him for a 4th round pick? Would you give Spencer Rattler up for a 4th round pick? Remember, he was a 5th round pick the Saints took back in 2024. 5th round pick, 150, and he was and like I said, he wasn't selected by Kellen Moore, obviously, right? He was a guy that was selected by the previous regime, and he's a guy that a lot of people I think Kellen Moore gave him a good shot, but Tyler Shuck is the guy now. And with Tyler Shuck is the man, the only best regard for Spencer is to be the QB2, battle Wilson for the QB2 position. But like I said, Kellen Moore got something up his sleeve if he brings in a guy that I thought it would be like a much older quarterback, not a quarterback you bringing in like Zach Wilson, who's a former 2nd overall pick quarterback. This guy he ain't looking to be a 3rd guy or one of these vets that, you know, the old savvy vet on the back of the. No, this guy wants to be a competitor. He wants to be a guy that ultimately has ideas to want to start eventually. And even though it's a 1-year deal with Zach Wilson with the Saints, the bottom line is he'll have to battle Spencer Rattler for that QB2 position. So what do you guys feel about that? Will you give up Spencer Rattler for a day 3 pick? What do you guys put in the comment section? Let me know how you feel. If you trade him, I mean, how do you feel about Zach Wilson being your backup if something happens, God forbid, to Tyler Shuck? How do you feel about that? That's why I say no to it, man. I don't know what Zach Wilson's, for what I've seen from Zach Wilson in the NFL so far, I wouldn't be totally confident, let's just say that, with him being my QB2 just yet. I haven't seen enough of him in a more positive role or understanding the principles of what he needs to do to carry the team to winning. Y'all fill in the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel about this article, about the rumors from Adam Schefter putting Spencer Rattler among the players that could be possibly traded during the draft. So we'll be looking out for that. Anyway, shout out to FanDuel, the official sponsor of the show. Y'all check out FanDuel for all your prop bets. Also, feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Big Q representing the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. We got trade rumors circulating around our backup quarterback, Spencer Rattler. Y'all guys need to chime in on this one. With that being said, I'm going to get on the body here. I appreciate y'all, man. Much love, peace, and Who Dat to you.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with the WhoDatDaily.com, your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit the WhoDatDaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.